You ever been called by a god? Not the loud kind, not Zeus hurling lightning. I mean the quiet kind, the kind you trusted, down to your bones, the kind who made the sun feel safe, just by standing there. He called me Clark, not Kal-El, not Superman, just Clark. I was already on the Watchtower, subdeck, alone, running recalibrations for atmospheric shielding. Bruce was schmoozing senators at the gala. I could hear him in the feed, some bad joke about AR tech and foie gras. Everyone laughed. And then my screen blinked. Not red, not urgent, gold, a symbol. House of L, priority 1. I froze. Clark had never used that channel. Not for drills. Not even when Mongol cracked a hole in orbit. I opened the line. No video, just static. Then his voice, like gravel under silk. Dick, Vault 9, trace kryptonite exposure. I need a patch. And I said, I'm on it, before I even thought. Because I always say yes. Because that's who I am. Because he's Superman. I sprinted the corridor with the patch kit under my arm. The old kind. The dermal layer Bruce designed after Metallo burned Clark in 39. I didn't even check it. Just trusted the rotation. Trusted everything. Vault 9's lead lined. Quiet. You can hear your own pulse in there. He was waiting. Collar loosened. Cape off. Eyes low, not glowing. Not angry, just tired. Like the weight of the sun finally started to crack his spine. He smiled at me. And I, God help me, I smiled back. He turned his head slightly, shoulder bared, and said, Go on, let's get it over with. So I peeled the patch. I pressed it to his skin, and I watched it take. No twitch, no hiss, just a flicker in his jaw. Then his fingers closed around my wrist like a vice, and everything started to burn. I didn't even flinch when he grabbed me. Not at first. I thought maybe he was bracing himself. Maybe the toxin was starting to sting. Maybe the patch was bad. Maybe I should... Then he twisted my wrist, just a little, just enough. Pain bloomed through my forearm like fire under glass. I staggered, made a sound, something between a breath and a whimper. He didn't let go. You always trusted me, he said, and it was Clark's voice. That was the worst part. No growl, no monster, no theatrical villain monologue. Just Clark, just warm. And behind his words, something dead, something hollowed out, like someone had scooped the man I knew out from the inside and left his skin perfectly intact. The patch was still there, pressed to his shoulder like a loaded confession. I looked down, tiny green needles, microscopic, flexing, injecting, not anti-kryptonite, something else. I pulled away. He let me, and I saw the corner of his mouth twitch. Just a twitch, like the first crack in a porcelain mask. Clark? My voice cracked. It cracked. I fought gods, bled in 4 dimensions, and I sounded like a kid. Did you think it was an accident? He said. He reached up and peeled the patch off, looked at it like it was art, then crushed it between his fingers. Dust, gone. My knees went weak. My mouth opened. Nothing came out. Because in that moment, I knew. He hadn't gone rogue. He hadn't snapped. He asked me to do it. He knew Bruce was gone. He knew no one else would be on deck. He chose me. Because I'd say yes. Because I always say yes. You open the door, he said, stepping past me. And I watched him leave. Not in a blur. Not in a cape whip flash. Just walked. Like it was Tuesday. I fell to my knees in the vault, cried like a coward. Then I threw up, twice. And then I passed out. I woke up to my own heartbeat. It was too loud, too slow, too alone. A soft hiss echoed near my jaw. Oxygen feed, still intact. Something mechanical chirped to my right. My body was flat, immobilized by a biorestraint matrix. Medbay, lower Watchtower wing. No windows, just reflections of machines pretending to care. I blinked. The ceiling didn't change. Still dim blue. Still flickering. Still cracked where the last magnetic breach fried half the panels. I tried to move my hands. Nope. Then I remembered. The patch. The request. His voice. Clark. Clark had asked me. And I said yes. I said yes because there wasn't anyone else available. Because Bruce was at that damn gala, because I trust him, because I didn't ask why. And now I was strapped to a table and my body ached like I'd been cracked open, and there was movement, just outside my vision, a screen, large, maybe 30 feet wide, flat, slightly curved, tactical ops feed, upper quadrant of the Watchtower, same view Bruce always used when tracking anomalies. Except, this wasn't an anomaly, it was him, Kal-El, descending over Gotham like an angel with the bones stripped out. Same cape, same insignia, no mercy, a blur of red and silver. His face was calm, pallid white skin, with eyes glowing like a furnace. He held something in his arms. No, someone, Bruce. I almost broke my neck trying to rise. The medbed groaned against the strain. Bruce was unconscious, head rolled back, blood down his collar. He wasn't moving. My vision went tunnel. I knew what was coming. I knew. But my brain screamed don't until it finally happened. Kal-El released him, dropped him, like trash. Bruce's body fell from orbit. The camera tracked it. No words, no music, no drama, just terminal velocity and the kind of silence that erases souls. The feed glitched, static. Then Joker's face, dozens of them, tiled across every pane like infected software. Laughing. I couldn't scream. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But the restraints held too tight. My chest seized. My mouth locked open in a silent howl. I felt my sanity tip, a soft hum at my feet. MedDroid. It was still active, still scanning me. Vitals unstable, it said flatly. I looked at it. It looked at me. And I swear to God, it knew. The droid extended a narrow syringe from its inner arm. Final comfort protocol engaged. Wait, injection, warmth spread, then cold, then silence. I thought I was going to die. Then it exploded. A burst of white-hot flash, sparks, shattered synth metal, just gone, a failsafe. Self-destruct keyed to something. A Justice League heartbeat signature? Mine? Bruce's? I lay there shaking, breathing in smoke, crying like a child strapped in a coffin, and I stayed that way until the boom tube opened behind me. The air folded before it tore. It didn't roar like it used to. No thunder, no scream, just a cold snap, like reality giving up. Boom tube breach. Behind me. I didn't lift my head. Couldn't. I just closed my eyes. If it was him again, Kal, I didn't want to see it. But it wasn't his weight. It wasn't his chill. It was something else. Heavier in another way. Boots, steel soles, deliberate stride, not stomping, not hovering, just walking like judgment with hips. Then silence. The tube sealed behind her. I knew who it was before she said anything. Diana. The scent of fire and ion charge clung to her like a second skin. There was blood in it, not hers, maybe something else's. The air around her felt charged, like the moment before lightning hits, but frozen. I didn't open my eyes, not right away. I was too ashamed. She didn't speak, not even my name. I felt her gaze before I saw it. It was like being X-rayed from the soul out. I finally blinked up through tears and flickering lights. There she was, standing a few feet from the wreckage of the medDroid, her armor scorched, her lips split, her brow furrowed deeper than I'd ever seen it. She looked like she'd buried 1,000 versions of hope and still refused to kneel. But in her eyes, grief, and maybe disgust. That's when I broke. "I didn't know," I whispered, voice ragged. "I swear to God, Diana, I didn't. He asked me to help, that's all." Nothing. She didn't move, didn't flinch. I tried again. "I thought it was just residue, kryptonite trace from the drill runs. I didn't know the patch was... He said he needed help." My throat locked. Tears bled into my hairline. He trusted me. I trusted him. I did what I was told. Still nothing. She stepped past me, didn't even look down. Her boots crunched over the medDroid's shattered casing. She paused at the wall panel, the weapons lock for sublevel 4, swiped her bracer. A soft green light blinked. The panel hissed open. She reached in, took something long and wrapped in black cloth, didn't speak, didn't ask about Bruce, didn't ask about Clark, didn't ask about me. And that's when I knew she wasn't here for me. I was just noise, a reminder of failure. I wanted to disappear. She turned at the threshold, looked at me, not like I was a boy, not even a soldier, like I was a consequence. And then, finally, her mouth moved. Only 2 words. Get up. Then she was gone. Boom tube hissed again. The cold returned, and I was alone, again. The room didn't change after she left. Same dim light, same stink of burnt circuitry and ozone. Same silence, thick and mocking. But I wasn't alone, not really, because now I had it. That awful clarity, the kind that only comes after you've already ruined everything. She didn't scream, she didn't cry, she didn't ask me what happened. She just looked at me like I was the last flicker of a fire that should have gone out hours ago. I'd have preferred a punch. I tried to sit up again. Nothing. My arms were dead weight. My ribs felt like splintered glass, probably cracked in the scuffle or from hitting the vault floor. But none of it compared to the weight in my chest, because now I had time to think, time to rewind, back to the patch, back to his voice, back to the twitch in his jaw, and back to the look in Diana's eyes, like I was a warning she'd remember but never forgive. The feed was still active on the side wall. Joker's laughter had long since faded, replaced by a single pulsing sigil. The House of L, distorted, stretched, bent just enough to feel wrong. He knew what he was doing. Clark hadn't snapped. He'd planned it. Whatever was in that patch, whatever toxin or override, was custom, specific, calibrated for him and through me. My biometric signature would have validated the transfer. Of course it would. Bruce made the damn protocol. Only family could access it without alerts. And I was family. That's what made it work. That's why it worked. I didn't poison him. I activated him. Somehow, that patch didn't change him. It released him. And the worst part? He wanted it. Something flickered in the corner, a low pulse red LED. I turned my head, barely, and caught it. The ruined med droid, still sparking, still twitching. But something in it moved. Not the arm, not the scanner, the eye. A flicker of green behind the lens. Then a faint hum. I stared. No, I whispered. It was booting. Failsafe was corrupted, not destroyed. Protocols scrambled. I knew Bruce's code when I heard it. That sharp pulse in the feedback loop. The AI was trying to repair itself. Then I heard the click. A new vial, ejecting into the injector arm, labeled in red, LV 6.3. My breath caught. Not a sedative, not a paralytic. That was league-grade bio-repair serum, meant for short-term combat recovery in the field. Why would it? And then I understood. This wasn't for me. This was part of the activation sequence. The drone wasn't healing me. It was stabilizing me for something else. I looked at the screen again. That twisted House of L. He was still using League tech, still using our systems, still using us. I tried to scream, tried to warn someone, tried to pull the cables from my wrist, but they were fused tight, melted from the blast. The drone hovered closer. A second injector clicked into place. LV 6.3 wasn't alone. There were 3. Something deep in me wanted to shut down again. Just drift, let it end. But a part of me, maybe the last good part, was still trying to claw its way up. Then, a voice. Not out loud, in the room, in my head. Filtered, flat, male, not Clark's. Richard Grayson, reintegration phase commencing. My jaw locked. The system knew me. Bruce's failsafe system, our failsafe, was being rerouted, reprogrammed. I didn't realize I was sobbing until I tasted salt. The same AI that monitored us for years, the one Bruce built to protect us from threats like this, had labeled me ready for reintegration. I wasn't human to it anymore. I was just infrastructure. And then, like a mercy from some bitter god, it crashed again. The drone sparked one final time, let out a soft chirrup, and went dark. Dead. Really dead this time. I exhaled. No, I collapsed into that breath. A minute passed, maybe 2. I don't know. Then something clicked above me. Different sound. Heavier. Hydraulic. The medbay's outer door unsealed, and for the first time since Diana left, I was afraid again. Not because I thought he'd come back, but because I wasn't sure I wouldn't let him. I didn't hear the steps. That's what still gets me. The Watchtower medbay floor is pressure sensitive. Every entry triggers a sub-audible chime. Nothing sounded, not a click, not a hiss, just a shadow. It fell over me like dusk. I opened my eyes. He was already there, not floating, not looming, just standing, inches from the side of my bed. Joker, no makeup this time, no purple suit, just gloves, surgical ones. His hair was damp, swept back. His skin looked too tight, like it had been borrowed. He didn't grin, he didn't speak, he didn't need to. My body tried to scream. It couldn't. My ribs locked. My throat stuttered. All that came out was a wheeze. He tilted his head slightly, studied me. His eyes were wrong, not playful, not mocking, just curious, like a man inspecting a clock that won't tick. Then, he reached for the med droid, lifted something from the ruin, a broken vial, sniffed it, wrinkled his nose, then glanced back at me and whispered, "You're running out of first chances, bird boy." I think I pissed myself. He turned his wrist. In it, a syringe, already filled, clear fluid, faint green hue, viscous, labeled not with a number, but a name, mine. Grayson. He didn't gloat, didn't monologue, didn't even blink. He just leaned in and drove the needle into my neck. No pain, just a chill, like ice water down my spine. Then a flicker behind my eyes, and his voice, low and intimate. He needed a joke to wake up. He tapped my forehead with a blood-stained finger. "You're it." And then he left. Didn't vanish. Didn't boom. Just walked. The door never opened. I don't know how he got in. I don't know what he gave me, but I know what it meant. Clark didn't fall. He was invited. And I'm the punchline.